All right, I'm with Brian Tucker, who's the Managing Director of Total Disaster Solutions, and it's an extraordinary service that Brian provides. He's a man who lives his beliefs, and he's created this service for people to make sure that, God forbid a bad day occurs, there is a plan ready to help people deal with some of the tougher elements of life. So Brian, I'm just going to give 2 or 3 key points now with regards to the website, which I think looks amazing. You've clearly spent an awful lot of time on this site, is that correct?
Yes, it is, yes. My whole idea about creating this website was just to make people, particularly people in the business community, more aware of the risks and consequences to their business.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a passionate believer in this because I've seen, in the 20 years of my career, I've seen, a fair few factory fires in my time, and I've seen, good, hard-working people with not small business but multi-million-dollar businesses lose everything overnight because they weren't prepared for some of these events that occur, that are very random and hugely destructive. So just so I understand, ideally with your website, what would be the one key thing you would want a visitor or a customer to your website to get from your website?
Oh, look, just to make them more aware of the consequences and the risks to their business. I mean, it's better to act rather than react after the incident has occurred.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really making them more aware of what's out there and the sorts of things and risks that could affect their business. I really do believe there's a lot of business people out there just running around blindly and not aware of some of these things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's part of setting up the website. I mean, I offer training in emergency management, in risk management, and particularly in areas like swine flu, avian flu. It's just all about educating the business community in what risks can affect their business.
Right. Okay. Well, look, I think there's an old saying: the riches are in the niches. So to make money in any marketing, and Brian's been very kind to allow us just to have this conversation and record it. The money is found in specific niches. You can't cover everything. So what I'm going to do, Brian, is I'm going to give you three tips with regards to the website specifically. The first one is you must have, so the most important piece of real estate on your website is the bit just below the banner. So the banner is, you've got an amazing flash going on at the top there. Just below that is really, really important real estate, and what I mean by that is it is the first place that people's eyes rest on when they come to your website. So to the left hand side, because we read left to right, you've got Total Disaster Solutions will help your business and community plan, prepare for an emergency, a power outage or catastrophic natural disaster. I would change that, Brian, and I would put a small video there, and that video must have you on it.
Yes.
And the reason for that is very simple. People buy into you, not the logo or the website. And specifically in a service like yours, which is highly emotional, it is vitally important that your character and personality are captured on that website.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's point number one. Point number two is I noticed that you've got a testimonials component at the top that ideally needs to be on the front page as well.
Yes, okay.
And the reason again is it just helps people to feel comfortable that they're dealing with a guy who's got a really strong track record.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Because the service that you're selling again is one where there's an enormous amount of trust.
Yes.
And then the third point is, and I see this over and over again, and this is an important one for you too, you have to have a single call to action. And what I mean by that is, at the end of your video, you simply say something like this. So this is why I've built this service to help small business owners, or maybe you just you know, you'd look at the niche of farmers, particularly farmers with livestock, and you look at, you know, the kind of pandemics that affect livestock and scare the whatever out of the local community. Maybe you start with the farming community, because in my experience, dealing with the agri community, they're very, very switched on people, so they get this stuff. So anyway, at the end of your video, you simply say something like this. There is a box to my left. Drop me an email and book in a 10-minute free review with me, where you can tell me a little bit more about your business, and I can give you 2 or 3 tips to help ensure that should a disastrous situation happen, you are much better prepared, you have a plan, and people within your organization understand what their responsibilities are in the event of a situation like this. Okay? That single call to action is very important for one reason only. When somebody lands on your website, Brian, all you want them to do is do one thing only, and that is ideally give you their name and contact details. Because once you have that, you can then start building a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's pretty good, thanks.
Okay. The thing that I find a lot, mate, is that it's very difficult to sell a solution like this from a website. And in fact, many business owners I talk to, I explain to them their website is like the first handshake. What it really should do is build rapport and a little bit of trust. Once people give you their email address, then you can follow up with some free information. So this is kind of standard practice. This is 100 years old, this stuff. You know, you start with an initial conversation and some free information, and all of the time you're building rapport, and all of the time you're building your opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation. And it's only at that point that you'll be able to speak to them and potentially sell them. So I'm going to stop the recording there, mate, and we'll carry on our conversation. So just bear with me 2 seconds.